It's been a while since I made a video with this art prompt book, 365 Days of Art. So today I'm going to tackle a few pages, but I'm not just going to do the prompts. I wanted to change it up a little bit and use all of these art materials. So I'm going to pick a prompt and use one of these materials to complete it. I've recently been sorting out and found some art supplies that I'd forgotten about and lots that I haven't used. So I think this is a great way to start using more of a variety of supplies and push me to use things that I don't normally reach for. The way I'm going to do this is to flip through the book and find a prompt that inspires me right now. I found this one, try drawing with line and wash. Use a fine liner pen or sharp pencil to draw something, then add colour and tone to your drawing using a watercolour wash. I'm thinking with this page it would look lovely if I fill it with fruits and keep on the theme of the example. So I drew some more grapes and joined the pictures together. I wanted to draw in pencil first to put everything where I want it to go, and then I'll go over afterwards with fine liner. Now, some of the fruits I added to the page were some apples and strawberries. I didn't want to draw them too detailed because I really want to play around with the watercolour wash. I think I might add a background colour too once everything is painted. I've made this mistake before, so I made sure I used a waterproof fine liner for this, otherwise everything's just going to smudge into each other. Now everything's outlined, I'll ignore the strawberry down the bottom there. It's time to create the wash. I don't have too much experience with this. I'm just going to go for a dark tone first, then build on top. Maybe it's better to start the other way around, but we'll find out in a minute. I want to get as close to the colour that's already there. I think that'll do. I'm just going to go for it and see what happens and paint this quickly so it doesn't dry before I add more colours. I should have put something behind the page because it doesn't hold the water well and it probably will seep through, and I take the page down as well to try and prevent it warping. Now I'll add a bit of red to make the lighter tone and paint that in. I carried on mixing the colours and adding to the shadows and highlights until I was happy with it. I enjoyed having a play around with these and not worrying too much about staying in the lines. I think I matched the colour nicely. I'll give myself a pat on the back. For the apples and the strawberries, I used the same techniques, just adding colour to create the shadows and mixing different shades together, and this is how it all turned out. Oh, and I did add a bit of white gel pen to the strawberries for the seeds. Now I've used the watercolour, I'm going to move on to acrylic paint. The prompt I've chosen for this is to create a page of fields. What could be in them? Straight away I thought about the fields of tulips that you find in the Netherlands. So I'm going to paint each field, choose some different shades and add tulips on top. I wanted to use the crackle paste on a couple of these fields. I was thinking they may look like the tulips have been harvested once it's dried, but we'll see. I just want to try the stuff out really and find out what it does. Wow, it definitely crackled. I thought it would be more transparent than this. Maybe I put it on too thick. But nice to see what it looks like when it's dry. Onto the tulips now. I'm going to add dots of colour using cotton buds in each field and add some different shades too. This is very basic, but I wanted to capture the rows that the tulips are planted in. I'll add some white on top as well to show the light from the sun. And this is the page finished, a nice and easy one there. I think if I did it again, I wouldn't use the cotton buds and use a paintbrush instead to make the tulip smaller. The next prompt is to sit in front of a mirror and draw yourself. I'm going to use alcohol markers for this on a separate piece of paper. This Bristol board should work, it's very thick. If I use the markers in the book, they would definitely bleed through a few pages. Alcohol markers aren't something I use very often. I want to try blending them a little and do some shading, so I'm going to draw myself anime style. I'll start off by drawing my face roughly and outline once everything is where I want it to be. I'm using a pigment liner for the outline. Once it's dry, it shouldn't bleed into the markers when I colour this in. These are the alcohol markers I'm using. They were on the cheaper end, but good to practice with. I've seen in other people's videos the best way to prevent streaking is to keep the markers moving, going over areas while it's still wet. So I tried to colour it in quickly. This is quite hard, you can see how fast they dry. I put down a slightly darker shade for the shadows, but it's very subtle. I might even use a darker shade instead. I noticed that these colours look a lot darker when I first put them down, and as they were drying they got a lot lighter. The cheeks don't look as pink as they did a minute ago. The thing I enjoyed the most with this was adding the shadows and the highlights to make it come to life. Don't know what I was thinking with the eyes. I made myself look like an alien. I promise my eyes aren't really this colour, they're a greeny blue. I had to go over them with different colours quite a few times to tone them down. And this is me anime style finished. I should have added white to the eyes, but I did have fun using these alcohol markers. There we go, that's better with some white. Next, I'm going to use these acrylic markers by ARRTX. I've had a little go with them but not used them in a video yet. The prompt I'm going to do is find an image of your favourite piece of artwork and create your own version of it. I wanted to create something like the image on the left, so my plan is to draw the outline and then add different colours using what I've got available in this set. I love Vincent van Gogh's Sunflowers painting and Starry Night too. I started with the lightest colour and tried to match the colouring roughly with the reference image. I thought it would be easier to add the darker colours on top. I found this really relaxing. I think it's because I didn't really have to think too much about what I was doing, I was just copying. There were a few colours that I didn't have a match for, so I went for the nearest one and just let this build up until everything was coloured in. I wanted to paint a wash background on this. I haven't used my NEOCOLOR 2s in this video yet, so I used them in the wash. This is one of my favourite things to do. The acrylic markers didn't bleed into the wash, which was good news for me. I wasn't sure if they would. Now I'm not sure if this is going to completely destroy this, but I wanted to use the glitter. I thought it might add something to the really light parts. I used some glue to stick some of this white colour down. And here it is, the finished piece after the glue's dried and the excess glitter has been brushed off. I think it looks alright. The glitter did definitely add something to this. Look how bad that paper's warped because I didn't stick it down. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to use the colouring pencils today, but I do use them quite often in this book anyway. It was nice to use a few different supplies instead. I will link the book and my other videos on it in the description. Let me know if you like the video by giving it a like. It will help it get shown to more people. I'll be doing another video on this book soon. I'll let you know in the community post when it's ready. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.